about people who are bored and sit on their asses all day. They don't get up and have their coffee, have a coffee. And just tap away. She told the Naughty But Nice Prob, I guess that's a podcast. I mean, I don't read it. I don't read any of it. Well, then how the fuck do you know that people are saying that shit? But you couldn't believe it if you read it. There is a corseting of our culture today that is just so tragic. You mean the corseting of a fucking well-to-do bitch who grew up with a silver spoon in her pussy and then does fucking commercials while people are fucking being starved and slaughtered in 4K and she doesn't give a shit about it and says, I don't feel anything right now? You mean that kind of corseting? Or the corseting where people make fun of that fucking bitch? You mean that kind of stuff?
I was so conflicted when I first started to read about Gwyneth Paltrow because I loved her in Emma. I really did. I thought she was sweet and endearing. I loved her performance in Emma. And then they're doing a reboot of when she was in Shakespeare. So they're doing a reboot of Shakespeare's In Love with a Zionist. It's a long way to go. A long way to go.
So she was in Shakespeare in Love with Judi Dench, right?
Yes.
And they are among the theater's luminaries calling for government action on what they label unimaginable situation for mothers in Gaza. So Judi Dench she's speaking out for the Gazan children and the mothers. And as the Israeli government, who are blocking the aid, is supported by the British government, we believe UK citizens have a responsibility to insist on the delivery of this vital aid, the letter signed by Britain and Ireland's most celebrated mothers added. Okay, so the good for Judi Dench, so that's nice, right? Judi Dench, by the way, she did play opposite of Paltrow in Shakespeare in Love. They should make a sequel to that, where Judi Dench forces Gwyneth Paltrow to stand at a checkpoint without sunscreen. Now, I want to show you something. They did a listing of every ranking of every country about people's positive or negative feelings against them. And so up there is like Switzerland, Canada, fucking Canada, really? Anyway, so I don't know if you've been to Canada. Anyway, and so Japan, and so they got, but if you look all the way at the bottom, that's Israel. They're under North Korea. And so you can see Gwyneth Paltrow has squandered all that goodwill she garnered when she released that vagina can. Shit, it's fucking. You know, if only this was a Eurovision ranking, maybe Israel would give a shit. Am I right? Come on. You know, Eurovision. Anyway, these are good. These jokes are good. All right, we gotta move on. But the people are freaking out. The neocon, the Zionist Jewish neocons are freaking out that there might be peace, that Donald Trump might get a peace deal. And so let's watch a little bit of it. Watch it.
I honestly don't know if it could be worse. America is going to be in a strategically, tactically, and militarily worse position than it was under Biden. He made a choice to test America's resolve, and he has choked. He has chickened out. He has bled himself dry. Trump, the crazy lunatic psychotic who doesn't care about lives and will do anything, could not bear the idea of putting a boot on the ground anywhere in Iran.
By the way,
take your pasty ass over there and get on the ground. Unbelievable.
First, a dollar store general. First of all, if you want us to believe that in your combat strategy, maybe lose the list. Am I right? Come on. I thought I was watching the movie Birdcage, for fuck's sake. I was ready for him to break out into a song. Am I right? Come on. And by the way, if you really want me to think that you're able to give tactical military advice, I zoomed into your bookshelf, and I don't know, could it be any gayer? I don't know. I'm just saying, nothing wrong with that. Pride Month. Pride Month. He's doing it for Pride.
Coming by the cathedral and
I'm out here. It's coming from
It does have Jolson's earlier stuff. Album.
That's
And could not bear the idea of a single American possibly being taken hostage, which I understand. I'm not saying
I understand, which I don't care. I can bear it because it's not me. It's someone else. It's fucking Goyim, and they're here to serve us. Let's be honest, right? It's not going to be the IDF soldiers. It's America. Okay, here we go.
and either of those is a good thing. But if you're going to go to war, you have to put boots on the ground. Everyone in the military has volunteered to put their lives on the line for their country.
Yeah, their country, not fucking Israel, you piece of shit.
you think they gotta launch them from that
And that the country itself may have to sacrifice in the form of wildly higher oil prices. If you think that the
We might have to have wildly higher gasoline prices that are going to bring bankrupt fucking people who are still 70% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. Half the country can't afford a $500 emergency. But fuck those people because we want our greater Israel project and we want dead Goyim fighting for it, not us. He couldn't give a shit about Americans or America. All these people care about is the greater Israel project. Why don't you get the fuck out of America if you love Israel so much and go fucking live there?
he's coming out with some candles. Might be interesting. I don't know.
Smells like ass. Smells like ass and jizz.
American nationalism.
Smells like pussy. But that's good. Also, that's a good joke.
Interest has to be engaged in this process. And if you go into the process and you lose it, and it's a complete war of choice, you have made things worse. The situation is.
Okay. So then, watch this.
Who tried to assassinate.
So they're talking about he's trying to pretend Iran was the one who tried to assassinate Donald Trump and Butler.
Who tried to assassinate him? Yeah. Tried to assassinate John Bolton. What's going on? I'm telling you what's going on. What's going on is
I'm trying to get Americans to fucking lose a lot of their soldiers so we can have the Greater Israel Project because I don't give a fuck about America. That's what's going on. I'm letting you know that's what's going on.
What's going on?
And after we do Lebanon, we're going to do Turkey. By the way, these two want to go to Turkey, but not for war, for their hair transplants. I think these two guys met on Zionist Grindr. Am I right?
how far crime has been reduced.
I didn't know Lacoste made shirts in XXX. I didn't know that. They do. Look at that. What I think is funny is that what Peyton White says, he says, legit thought this was an Ozempic before and after.
Copy. It's current AOA for state northbound 35 at County Road E, Echo.
This is how the Zionists react. Ceasefire is disappointing. At the end of the day, these people of the West have prioritized their own needs over the liberation of people of Iran. I don't have enough fingers to count the amount of people who have ranted at me about gas prices for the last few weeks. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, imagine how many fingers you'd have if you were fighting the Iranians, you fucking... Anyway, I like this. This makes me sick. Oh, you know, they have a ceasefire. I'm gonna throw up. Anyway, those are Zionists. So Donald Trump says...
Without the United States, there would be no Israel. Without me, there would be no Israel, because no other president was willing to do what I did.
Different than the other ones.
So lots of stuff going on the highway. Israel wouldn't exist without Trump. If only we could do a wonderful life where Trump never existed to see if that were true.
Confirm. W or E?
Good question.
But guess what? His ambassador to Israel turns on him. Mike Huckabee sends it right back to him. Watch this.
Can't see everyone.
to the United States. This is just another reminder that it is your heritage, without a doubt. But Minister, it is also the heritage
The thing
of
about
the
this
United
job,
States. Without
it's important to
Israel,
get the
without the
information
Jewish
out as soon as possible.
there would not be an
It's a pet
America.
peeve of Pat's.
Yes.
Get the information out so people can react to you.
Come on, he's right. We're
When you're
as
following
American
somebody.
as baseball, falafel, and apple
Go ahead.
Because everyone's calculating their strategy.
So Trump says there wouldn't be an Israel without America. He says there wouldn't be an America without Israel.
Like
This
last
motherfucker
night.
is representing the United States.
1228.
This is exactly how
guy
they
that
did
assaulted
before he filleted
the trooper.
Yeah.
Trooper,
It's true.
gave him a
It's
full
true.
name originally, but then
So this is how, I guess
figured out
this is
who
how
he
he
was,
thinks.
and figured out he had a warrant. But when he was chasing him, we didn't know who it was, but more importantly, and the passengers said where they
That's
were
how he
headed.
thinks when they were at the Constitutional Convention.
You be quiet on
That's
purpose.
when they were writing the Declaration of Independence. That's what it looks like. By the way, this is also a picture of every
Wipers over on Fremont.
Holy fucking shit! I am going full barrels.
It's just destructive.
So anyway, all right, that was fun. That was good. That was just good, clean fun.
Above the belt, for sure.
That was above the belt. Oh, by the way, Joe, I don't want to bum anybody out, but Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted out, as instructed, the IDF struck powerfully 150 Hezbollah targets in Lebanon and eliminated. So they're still
We're gonna
fighting.
watch
So as predicted,
a BMW
that
M4
Benjamin
get
Netanyahu
split in
is
half during a
bloodthirsty Zionist
136
maniac,
mile
is
an
now
hour
going to
police
stop
chase.
slaughtering Lebanon. They're trying to ethnically
Anybody
cleanse
else
the
wanna
south
watch a
end of
BMW
Lebanon of all
M4
the
split
Shia
in half
Muslims
during
so
a
they can do their
136
Greater
mile
Israel
per hour
project,
speed
and so they can
chase?
occupy it, just like they want to occupy Gaza, just like they want to occupy Syria, and they are, and just like the West Bank,
Hey, good
and now
morning.
it's Lebanon, and then they're going to Turkey, and then Egypt, and then Saudi Arabia.
Yes, very
That's the Greater
good.
Israel. They're doing it, and so that's what this is. And of course, he's doing that to kill the peace deal, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, well, I don't know if you know, the IRGC announced closure of the Strait of Hormuz in response to Israel's attack. That just happened. That just happened. That's from today, June 19th. The conditions of the ceasefire in Lebanon and the withdrawal of U.S. forces from the area have not been met by the United States. Ships approaching the strait will be So who broke the ceasefire again? It wasn't Iran, it was the United States and Israel. And here's another one from the Hormuz letter. Iran has suspended its entire 60-day negotiation period with the U.S. over the direct violation of the MOU's first clause. It's in the first line of the MOU that they have to stop all right fighting, including in Lebanon. And then first sentence, and they did it. Right? So with Israeli attacks on southern Lebanon constituting a breach less than 24 hours after the MOU was electronically signed, Iran's negotiating delegation has already been preparing to depart for Switzerland to launch the first round of talks before Iran made the decision to suspend the entire trip. Iran will also not unilaterally fulfill its commitment, and until Iran is fully assured Israeli attacks on Lebanon have stopped and the U.S. has practically adhered to the first clause obligations, talks remain canceled. So that's where we're at now. Israel did it. They pulled it off. They fucking killed the peace deal as of right now. They've done it.
Well, you got to hand it to them. I mean, they were smart enough to electronically sign that. They didn't show up in person.
Yeah, right? If you show up in person, then Israel's going to bump it. That's what's going to happen.
You know, Jimmy, I just wanted to correct you. I think it's M-O-U-L-G-T-Plus.
So that's, I just can't get over how and as predicted, they did it. And hopefully, you know, you've seen J.D. Vance and you've seen Donald Trump giving verbal reprimands to Netanyahu and Israel. And the first thing James Lee said when he came over today, he's like, hey, you think any of that's real? No, it's not real. It's theater, and it's not real until Donald Trump cuts off the missiles and the weapons and the bombs and the money. That's when you'll know it's real. until then, it's not real. And Donald Trump ain't never going to cut them off because he knows that AIPAC owns the Congress and they can destroy him, or they'll just Charlie Kirk him because he knows this. And so that's how they got him. They got Donald Trump somehow, and he's controlled by them. It doesn't matter if it's Epstein files, like that one Mossad agent said it was. It doesn't matter if it's they got dirt on his kids or what, or if it's the money. Who knows? But it's they got him somehow, and he's never going to cut Israeli off from the bombs or the money. And so I guess we're fucked. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess the Strait of Hormuz is going to stay closed. We're going to pay $10 for a gallon of gas pretty soon, and it's gonna, the whole world's going to go into a global depression. So winning. Oh, it's so tired. I'm going to be so tired of winning.
This is a really funny comedy show.
It's a little of both, okay? Hey, so just to let you know, Hillary Clinton is in the news again. So Hillary Clinton, she was Joe Biden's key player in getting him reelected. Right? In fact, here's Joe and Kamala are the best people for the job of defending our democracy, fighting for our rights, and making sure everyone has a fair shot. Join me in becoming a part of their reelection campaign, starting today. Here she goes. So, by the way, what does she mean by that? She says that they are the best people for the job. What Hillary means is that they were the best shot at keeping the adrenochrome supply flowing. Am I right? But she's got some campaign advice for the Democrats. Here we go.
He made a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake.
She's talking about Joe Biden when he decided to run for president the second time.
He made a terrible mistake. He made a terrible mistake for himself, his legacy.
I love crescent moons.
He had said that he would not run again.
For that crescent.
And, counterfactual narratives are always a bit tricky. But I believe if he had kept to that plan and said,
But it looks like a guy should
in,
be
say,
sitting
the late summer of 23, that he wasn't going to run, that he was going to pass, the torch to the next generation, we would have had a real contest.
Unlike when I ran in 2016. By the way, taking presidential campaign advice from Hillary Clinton is like taking parallel parking advice from Tiger Woods. Right, come on.
And very sadly, I believe whoever emerged from that contest, whether it was the vice president or a governor or a senator or anybody else, would have beaten Donald Trump. So I think it...
Yeah, like anybody except me. Because I famously lost that.
There we go. Was a terrible miscalculation on the part of President Biden. But once he didn't move, and did not,
watch a BMW get split in half.
He had said he was going to step aside and then decided not to.
BMW M4 is going to get split in half.
We were in a
136-mile-per-hour chase.
Have to we just bury him or what? Hasn't moved for hours.
That's a long way to say that Kamala was an awful candidate. Is that basically what she's saying? It smells like death and destruction. That's her cat, yeah. It smells like her pussy is rigged. That's what it smells like. And then people did this. First of all, I don't think that actually is a. That might be fake because her teeth are too good, right? Her teeth did look good. This is every Democrat's reaction when they realize she's going to run again in 2028. That's that. I bet she does run. Hillary blaming Biden now is fake establishment. The party protected and discouraged a real primary, ignored what voters could plainly see, and waited until after the loss to discover accountability. You don't get to help defend the machine and then pretend you were warning everyone from outside it. She was the biggest cheerleader for that bullshit, and she didn't say a fucking thing. And now she's like, oh yeah, I knew if they would have just did it differently. And by the way, if you think about this, the thing that
Has
drives
a
me
hard
nuts
time
is people
focusing.
who, I just saw Mehdi Hassan do this. He blamed Theo Von and Joe Rogan for helping get Trump elected, as if, by the way, people had a choice. He's not angry at the Democrats for rigging the last 3 fucking primaries where people could have actually had a choice, so now people don't have a choice. They rigged it against Bernie Sanders, he did nothing. They rigged it against him again in 2020, and then in 2024 they didn't even have a fucking primary, so
This BMW is about
they
to
didn't
wipe
have a
out.
choice. Because the Democrats made sure they rigged their
BMW
primaries,
M4
so they
wipe
didn't have
out.
a choice. You want to be pissed
Well,
off at a fucking
after the
podcaster?
ad, I
Or you want to be
guess.
pissed off at people who actually take hundreds of millions of dollars from the fucking establishment, WEF billionaire class, to rig their own fucking primary so voters don't have a choice and it doesn't matter who we fucking vote for? Oh, really? It would have been better if we voted for Kamala Harris, who was currently doing a genocide? That's your fucking moral victory? You stupid lying piece of shit. They didn't have a choice.
You know, Jimmy, I was thinking.
And I'm fucking applaud. Damn it.
Watch this start crashing.
Thank you.
You know, I was
sticking right in her candle.
Oh, I missed the crash.
You know, I was thinking, you know, what can be unburdened.
No, it didn't.
What has been.
They might have a hard time seeing things in the water.
Eek.
There was a guy yesterday on the
How did her
Mississippi,
campaign
brand new boat.
Remember in 2016 she
Oh.
propped up Donald Trump?
He got lodged
Called
on a
the
Holy
sandbar.
smoke.
Because they didn't think they
Never
could
did
beat
see
Jeb
the end
Bush,
result of
but
that.
they thought they could beat Donald Trump.
It got
So they
split
got all
in
their
half,
minions in the
alright.
press to write about Donald Trump and prop him up so that
had
they could
refreshments
get their
if he
win
was
over Donald Trump. But of
on a
course,
bar.
she's actually more repulsive to the whole country than Donald Trump was. So she lost. Isn't that weird? So the Dems haven't learned any lessons in decades. Well, I think no, the Dems have learned. It's the Democratic voters that haven't fucking learned. Just like dedicated Republican voters haven't learned shit from President Chavez Goy.
Yeah, this is crazy. 11:30 on a
The
Friday night.
vehicle
But I like
definitely
what he says, hey,
keeping.
Hillary blaming Biden now is peak establishment cowardice. No, peak cowardice.
Well, either that or
came out and
it
no
really
one
is
rioted
disclosure day.
about that.
I think they're lining up for
Be
landing.
careful.
If there was anyone on earth that is an expert at running a bad
Probably
presidential
should run from the
that ends up
police.
crippling the
I don't
Democratic
get it.
Party, it's definitely Hillary Clinton.
We're ready for the police over for
By the way, what was the Pied Piper strategy? It was the 2015 Clinton campaign plan shared with the DNC to elevate extreme or outsider Republican primary candidates, including Trump, believing they would be easier for Hillary Clinton to beat in the general election. This is from Grok. In short, it was a calculated and ultimately failed effort to engineer a weak Republican
Locked
nominee
himself in the
by
bathroom
helping
to get away
elevate
from
Trump and other Pied Pipers who would lead the party toward positions seen as toxic in the general election. So it didn't work. That's a big idea. But not only did that, I thought, by the way, I thought the Pied Piper strategy was trying to get Trump to run and beat Bernie. Meanwhile, Hillary would be at the Comet Pizza eating a kid's face. That's what I thought. Come on. That's a curt joke. Anyway.
We're headed up to domestic north of us. We're on Cleveland going north.
I thought the Pied Piper strategy in the comedy world, that's known as giving Bill Maher his own show on HBO.
Yes.
So here is what actually happened in the 20s. So this is, so nobody blames the Democratic Party. They like to blame Joe Rogan or Theo Von or Andrew Schultz or whatever, or me. They like to blame people for Donald Trump winning, but they'll never blame the powerful people who
now
win
calm
three.
down.
We haven't had a primary in the Democratic Party the last 3 presidential elections. They haven't had a primary because this one they rigged. Remember, so this is the Wyoming caucus. He beat her by 12 percentage points. She got 4 delegates because the Democrats have super delegates to make sure that someone who represents workers can never be elected. That's the whole point. So nobody cares. So they don't. So again, Mehdi Hassan is not going to bitch about the Democratic primary or the Democratic Party, the powerful people rigging their own fucking primary. He's going to wag his finger at goddamn podcasters, people with no power at all. And so there. By the way, if you lose to a Jew in Wyoming by fucking 12 points,
Hopefully he doesn't victimize everyone else.
I think it's time to rig it. Even MSNBC couldn't take it. But I don't know. I played this on the show before, but not for like 10 years. Let's listen to this. This is Joe Scarborough being said this Mr. Bingo.
He wins by 12 points. A single delegate. 6 now, with the remaining delegate to be decided later. I'm sorry, that's a crushing victory.
I know, and listen, I think that with the super delegates that they have, I think she only has to win 30% of the, you know, 30% of the votes or many contests. I mean, talk about voters feeling. Why are you?
Yeah, you know why they feel it might be rigged? And there's one more here.
You're driving my car right now. We're talking about rigged systems. We're putting up right now a graphic. Bernie Sanders wins 56 to 44% in Wyoming. The delegates reported Hillary Clinton 11, Bernie Sanders 7. Why does the Democratic Party even have voting booths?
So that, yes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is known as the last honest moment on MSNBC. Okay, we got to get out of here. But I have one more thing I want to talk to you about. This is Terry Bradshaw. In case you don't know Terry Bradshaw, he was basically, he's known as the thinking man's Rob Gronkowski.
Calls that law enforcement goes.
You got to know football to get that, Jeff.
Very true.
Anyway, he's not the brightest, he's not the sharpest knife in the knife thing. And so here he's on Joe Rogan, and at first I thought he was going to, they started talking about ivermectin and COVID, and I thought Terry Bradshaw got it.
Have a good night.
He does like a fake out. At first you think he's, well, let's watch. Here we go.
I got in trouble one time.
The most dangerous person is somebody who knows that they have to suffer and they okay with it. Because you cannot defeat somebody who knows the pain is coming and they still don't get up in the morning. You cannot defeat a person that you can lie on and they still believe the truth. You cannot defeat somebody who believes that if God before them, he's more than this whole congregation against them. Because power is not proven by what you can control or who you can curse out. Power is proven by what you can carry without making an announcement. You think life is set when everybody around you likes you. No, the table ain't set until you gotta feed somebody who's trying to prey on you. I don't have to tell you who I don't like. I don't have to tell you what I'm frustrated with. I don't have to tell you who don't like me. I'm not worried about Thursday. I am trying to get to Friday. But you want to know who's ready for Friday? People who know you don't like them and can hug you anywhere. The most dangerous person is somebody who knows that they have to suffer and they okay with it. Because you cannot defeat somebody who knows the pain is coming and they still gonna get up in the morning. You cannot defeat a person that you can lie on and they still believe the truth. You cannot defeat somebody who believes that if God before them, he's more than this whole congregation against them. Because power is not proven by what you can control or who you can curse out. Power is proven by what you can carry without making an announcement. You think life is set when everybody around.
Boy, what do you think about ivermectin? He's got some asshole brain surgery. So Joe straightens him up.
Yeah. Well, you know,
This is why Ashley Babbitt got shot. You realize that, right? People like Ashley Babbitt died because of people keep driving people onto this, right? It might be funny for you. I don't know if it's murdered Ashley Babbitt. You're more or less responsible with this kind of talk. Yes. Oh my God, murdering. Yes. Playing a factual world. You realize that. Tie yourself.
You said an hour ago that Trump never asked for National Guard. I can show 50 articles. It's on record.
I said that
You just admitted it. Gotcha.
Guys.
honestly did not know
So here,
that you
rhetoric like this is why Ashley Babbitt got shot. You realize that, right? People like Ashley Babbitt died because of people you driving people onto this, right? It might be funny for you. I don't know, because murder Ashley Babbitt, you're more or less responsible.
He wasn't the only one that told me that.
Well, the problem was
Less
that was
responsible.
a
This kind of
narrative
talk.
that was all over the news.
Play in a factual world.
You
And
lose
also,
it
you
out
time
there.
yourself.
You said an hour ago. You said an hour ago that Trump never asked for National Guard. I can show 50 articles that's on record.
I said
You just admitted
They
it.
also kind of show them medicine. We're mammals. We have similar medicine. That's what
Like this is why Ashley Babbitt got shot.
stops viral replication, and that's the benefit that a lot of people.
proven to stop? Was it proven?
There's a ton of studies. There's a lot of people that have written books. I'm not the guy to talk about it,
Coming
but
up
there's.
next is the latest song I wrote, and this one is tied into the case a little bit. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.
Hey, you got a nice car, wanna keep it, better hide your key fob so they can see it.
This may run around being your moral support.
Borrow your signal and convince your car to believe it. Hey, you got a nice car, wanna keep it, better watch the places that you leave it. They don't need a key if they can sniff it. Borrow your signal and convince the car to believe it.
2 laps round the block like they're playing a game. Range Rover in the drive with you wagging by the gate. Some people pay for the cars while others just pay. Each ride has its own cheat code in some type of way. Ferrari in the garage, Lamborghini in the back. When you get your money, the goons can't attack. No matter your car, everything's up for grabs. Nothing beats a kill switch when they think they got the bag. They ain't looking at the paint, they ain't looking at the chrome. They're trying to figure out how to take it from your home. Follow you from dinner, follow you from work. Everybody got a pad until somebody learns it first.
You got a nice car, wanna keep it, but I hide your key fob so they can reach it. They scan for your key so they can repeat it. Borrow your signal and convince your car to believe it. You got a nice car, wanna keep it, better hide your key fob so they can sniff it. You got a subwoofer, I wanna beat it. Put my music on loud so you can feel it.
White M4 with the roof half folded. Helicopter saying, where you going? 136, but the math ain't mathing. Every mile fast, every problem stacking. Skip the M3 for the bigger commission. Now the whole chase got a higher definition. Thought he found a shortcut through the system. Didn't know the ending was already written.
Full west and the night's still young, but the road starts talking when you push too long. Grass starts flying, rear tires skating, posting and still while fate gets patient.
Jeez. Smoke in the distance, everybody watching from a safe distance. Cars split apart like a movie transition. Somehow everybody walked away from the collision.
Months went by, but the truck
Lucky.
got cold.
You imagine.
Kept secrets till the secrets got told. Just kept talking.
You wouldn't think they walked away from that accident, huh? Well, he got flown from the vehicle and landed just right. It didn't look like he got hurt too bad.
You got a nice car, wanna keep it, better hide your key fob so they can sniff it. They scan for your key so they can repeat it. Borrow your signal and convince your car to believe it. You got a nice car, wanna keep it, better hide your key fob so they can reach it. You got a subwoofer, I wanna beat it. Put my music on loud so you can feel it. Put my music on loud so you can feel it. So you can feel it.
Hey, Mike, how many pounds you haul a year?
Oh, about 10,000 pounds of lobster a year.
Oh boy, Johnny. Sounds like we got a wicked good fisherman here.
Word on the water, you boys are pretty good at catching rubber boots.
Now through July 3rd, when you purchase a vehicle at Darling's, you'll receive a gift card to a local lobster pound.
next to a sign that says prayed, P-R-A-Y-D. A drug trafficker, he got pulled over next to a big sign that says prayed.
Insider like Paula, he said that you had to be on the bus or off the bus with Fauci. You couldn't disagree with anything he said, or you were off the bus. That's what that refers to. Our FDA leadership, especially former CBER Director Peter Marks and senior officials, handling of emergency use authorization, decisions to revoke hydroxychloroquine emergency use authorization while keeping others, horse dewormer and fish tank cleaner style messages versus no human approval of both drugs, vaccine approvals and recommendations for low-risk groups despite known myocarditis signals, CDC leadership, including former Director Rochelle Walensky and current former staff, changing definitions of what a vaccine is, what a fucking pandemic is, hospitalization and death counting methods, mask and school closure guidance, suppression of dissenting scientists, like the Great Barrington Declaration, key repurposed drug decision makers, officials involved in the ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine clinical trial design. So what he's saying there is that they rigged the trials to make them fail. That's what he's talking about. Those who have coordinated this aggressive public campaign against both drugs. So there's one more. So he goes, pharmaceutical companies, Pfizer, Moderna, Merck, and Gilead, clinical trial design transparency, data withholding, post-marketing surveillance, influence of regulatory bodies, pricing and lobbying around pricing and lobbying around novel products versus off-patent drugs, major medical journals, and consensus gatekeepers.
Some people in class are just taking a moment to reflect at how strange, for lack of better words at the moment, how very strange it is. It's 2026, right? June 20th, 2026. I mean, how many huge figures and people, including experts, celebrities, people like this, Jimmy Dore, so many people, the years speaking out with the issues with vaccines, others screaming out about the dangers and the overprescribing of SSRIs. The uptick in the deaths, murders, and suicides, and rape and torture of children. We were just looking at the increase of the death and beatings of mentally ill and autistic people between 2013 and 2017, which was warned about as well, and how that coincides with a lot of the people who work within our healthcare systems and state departments ignoring those concerns and casting people off as crazy or conspiracy theorists if they even mentioned the concerns with vaccines, as though they were horrible, dangerous people and going to bring back measles and mumps and not complying with our healthcare regulations and doing what they could to take their children. Yeah, I mean, they succeeded in a lot of cases. And a lot of those kids were killed. Yeah, many died from illnesses and healthcare complications that were directly related to the vaccines. Yeah. So many. Yeah, people are throwing in a lot of different things through that time frame. The drug stings, the botched batches, all the rashes, the creams. I know, do you remember that? And certain people, yeah, they got pissed off about that. And then so many use things like that as justification to target innocent people in different communities whom they feel got them busted or botched their drugs. I know, just if, yeah, for some reason, if you're not one of them. I don't remember, they don't call the police either. They don't call the police. But when it comes to addressing the serious abuse and fraud, oh, call the cops, don't call the cops, because they know. Can't do anything about it. Some of these cases where our children are being fucked and tortured, and they're profiting from the abuse of our children. Oh, they tell themselves it's all fake, and they're just making the fake stuff and beating the women in burqas. It's actually really sick and disgusting and disturbing. We're at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine. My name is Mary. I have 4 children here. My youngest 2 are in the hands of sick, murderous pedophiles. And when you see the connections over the years and what's been going on here and how these sick fucks got their foot in the door and people just playing their games and fear propaganda, concerned about getting the non-vaxxer or the Karen or the shoplifter, whom people feel is a bully or threatening or dangerous or should be locked up, medicated. People are very aware. We work with a lot of good people from all around the world, good doctors and investigators. Yeah, and many restationed. Back in 2009, I remember after the private investigator, Chris LaJoy, after he shot himself, yeah, he was gaslit by some of the same junkies and druggies involved with the abuse of our children. A lot of these microchips being passed around. They're very sick people. I know, and it got blended in, with investigations, kind of how they will spread drugs sometimes in certain areas or set up stings and pose as 13-year-old girls. Yeah, a whole host of things. So it's real but not real. Yeah, I mean, just over the years, we're totally bamboozled at how bonkers everything is. I think what class is highlighting at the moment is how so many people with these concerns over the years, and then when you look at our news stations and media, they won't even talk about it, which is really scary. And if you try to bring it up to them, I know it's almost like the psychos and the hags back in 2008, 9, and 10. Maine Parent Federation, other state workers and nurses freaking out, calling us bad parents, we're going to kill other people and bring back measles. It seems like they're all in line maybe with a lot of that. Or the ones who aren't are either scared to speak out or they see that others get ostracized and casted out and lose their jobs or get looked at as crazy too. They get marked as crazy and talking about conspiracy theories, and that affects their careers and the jobs and stuff they're able to get. So many have just conformed. They're complying with bullshit and lies and dangerous things, and it's really scary to us. So I'm not quite sure how to address that. Has some retard, some mentally ill person that should be medicated and locked up. Insane, really, when you know what's going on here. Yeah, we're dealing with a lot of mentally ill people. Mentally ill, sick, pill-popping criminals. It's amazing as a dead mother watching from the great beyond. Yeah, no, I don't think it's a it's a dangerous state of mind to be in, to say, you know, when we talk about the things we talk about, and if names get said or things we've done, yeah, if there's anything that we should be locked up for, please. We're concerned about the hostages and our children, and exposing these criminal networks and how they're making child and animal pornography, special needs children. They can't really talk and tell you the abuse they're going through. Yeah, up at 2012, remember, they still do it, but just not as popular as it used to be. Yeah, they would buy the chloroform online. They stopped selling it online in 2012 when a lot of those concerns were being brought to light. Right, because, I mean, chloroform, they just put it on a cloth, and they put it over the kids' faces, or adults, while they're sleeping. And then you're out. And you don't know you were put out while you were out. Yeah, while you were sleeping, we put you to sleep. Isn't that nice? Yeah, over the years, too, a lot of those abuse cases, kids, I can remember some, they'd have recollections of abuse and things, and they'd ask questions, get told they were lying or making things up. Well, sometimes you might have a mark or even a feeling on your body or a stain, right? Like a ketchup stain or jelly or something. Maybe, yeah, it could be anything from that that you thought was a dream. Yeah, maybe you had a dream you were out digging for dirt, making mud pies. And you thought it was a dream, and you looked down, there's dirt under your nails. Maybe I did. Maybe I did go outside and play in the dirt. Did we go out and make mud pies? No, you were dreaming. Are you sure? Because I still got the dirt on my hands. Oh, that's probably from something else. She always makes things up. Right, so you see these cases enough, and then when you really see it, you know, when you're already familiar with it, it's easier to spot, I guess. Right, and to also not be too quick to jump, you know. Yeah, there's usually a lot of notations and things that need to happen before people like us will even think those kind of things upon anybody. Yeah, that's dangerous. We've met a lot of those kind of people over the years. It's almost like a hypochondria. It's very scary, dangerous. It's the kind of person you don't want to be around, really. Paranoia, paranoia, everybody's coming again. But yeah, dealing with a lot of those cases over the years. I think David Wilcock and stuff touched base on that before he vaporized himself in April. Yeah, 4/20, April 20th, he vaporized himself. David Wilcock, April 20th, 2026. April 20th, 2026. David Wilcock vaporized himself. Oh man, what a fucking riot. I mean, you gotta admit. You gotta give credit where credit is due, right? Is that what it's getting written up as? Cause of death. Vaporization. People are being vaporized now? Well, they did it to themselves. Are you sure? Father, Mother, God. Let's put both our feet on the ground. Flat on the floor. Flat. You know that's impossible for us arched people. No matter how hard we push. I mean, we can go on and on and on about a lot of these cases, family ties and things that open the door for a lot of evil. A lot of evil. Yeah, he's very familiar, I believe, with the ghost hunting and alien hunting and psychos within the system. See, it's almost like another, over the years when we work with different doctors and psychologists and people who don't agree with the psychos around us. And they're like, she doesn't need medication for OCD. Like, and I agree. I don't think there's anything that I need to be medicated for. The stuff's pretty dangerous, and if anything, you should not want to put those kind of powerful drugs into the hands of someone you think is unstable. It doesn't really make sense, does it? You know, I mean, you can easily overdose on one prescription or kill someone else. Very easily. They do it all the time. They crush it up and dilute it and put it in your drink. We see a lot of heart attacks that way. That's how it gets written up anyways. Or something else, yeah, organ failure, something. Asphyxiation. Depends on what medication they're crushing up and putting in your drink. Yeah, you gotta be careful. I mean, some of that stuff, you can just rub it on your skin, huh? But protect yourselves. Protect yourselves. I know, so many years people are putting out these concerns that people in the lower classes who are more subjected and vulnerable to those things. And then every time those people are just like, oh, what? They're gonna do what? And then they try to stop a lot of the things that would help law enforcement and the poor people, you know, and that are being abused by middle class sick fucks. Do you understand? Sick fuck, nasty, drug trafficking, abusive, psychotic. Oh man. I mean, eccentric is too nice of a word. Eccentric can be good, yeah? Almost like being careful, but you don't want to be too careful. No, I don't think you're understanding it right. And being eccentric. Yeah, I agree with you. Would that be the opposite as cynical? I'm not really good with definitions. Well, I think the defining lines is your department. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're beside ourselves. And then not only do a lot of the news people ignore all these concerns, while our children are being fucked and tortured by drug traffickers and psychotic people. You know what? They're going to rehab and learning how to fight and become enlightened. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It is really sad. A lot of people they're just going on and on and on about how sad it is, all these people that you trust, to not let those kind of evils abuse vulnerable people, especially, mentally ill and children. I don't know, for some reason, it's almost as though they see a few clips of people, really fucked up people, and then they okay these mandates across the board, and they don't realize how fucking insane that is. And we do. I mean, that's what we try to prevent from happening. Has cynical, common sense people who understand these things, because, well, we're in those environments and we live in those classes and status quos, and you don't. And it's really sad. No, to live in those kind of worlds, they wouldn't even think about putting their kids in a public school or using Western medicine. They wouldn't even fucking think about it, dude, and that's why they don't fucking talk about it. What kind of doctor do you see? Naturopath, holistic doctor? Right. None of them use Western medicine. A lot of them don't. But they promote the fucking shit out of it. No, that's what I'm saying, is when you look into a lot of their doctors and things like that, right, and a lot of them abuse some of the prescription drugs that are considered in the Western medicine docket. So yeah, it's like they use narcotics and different things like that. Yeah, right, but they wouldn't take that dangerous stuff they're prescribing to your 8-year-old for being a little hyper, unruly, being mouthy. You medicate these kids. Right, and then maybe they won't piss off their parents if they're medicated and lethargic, and then they won't get beaten and fucked and tortured, and we won't be having to pull them out of trash cans and peel their brain matter off the wall after they get smashed with a baseball bat. Yeah, that kind of stuff. They don't seem to even want to talk about it or acknowledge it, and they promote the fucking shit. And they ignore the concerns. Yeah, I think that's really scary too. That's been fucking really scary to us for a long time. Before 2010, actually. And then when they signed off on that shit in 2010, a lot of good people disappeared, killed themselves, investigators, people within the healthcare system. I think it's really fucking sick and disturbing how people are ignoring these things and not talking about them and then promoting the dangerous drugs. Yeah, totally fucking demented. What's up, folks? Compliance. People are fucking sick. I don't know what it's going to take. You don't even need to recognize you're sick in the head and that you have a mental illness for the ignorance and the promotion. You know what? The ignorance and the promotion. Just recognize that, what you've been ignoring and promoting. And if you can't accept that that's fucking sick and demented, that's a mental illness when someone's unable to address reality, or they use whatever justification you have, whether it's an investigation or what national security, you're trying to protect people, whatever you're telling yourself. Just like a lot of people will turn their head to the violence and the torture and the fucking of our children right here at the Governor Hill Mansion, and want to think it's fake, right? Joe Rogan, MK Ultra stuff. Do you understand what that is? Does anybody even get it? Are we just going to toss around phrases and talk about dewormer and how they built the pyramids? In the meantime, between time, we're really working hard on getting that Suboxone approved for you druggies that were pissed off back. Remember 2010? Yeah, 2010, 11, 12, 13. Interesting. Yeah, these punks were messing with that shit. It's one of the reasons we signed a contract in 2013 for 24 milligrams a day. Do you think someone could just get that prescribed to them? Yeah, I'd wake up if I were you. My name's Mary, Governor Hill Mansion. Augusta, Maine. Augusta, Maine. It's the capital. We can see the Capitol building from here. It's beautiful. Yeah, so our children have already been fucked and tortured, and we're dead mothers watching from the great beyond. We're at peace. We're nonviolent. We don't expect anybody to be hurt. We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't even expect you to smack that sick motherfucker on the wrist. We understand these cases and that they usually don't get solved and the kids get abused till they die. Well, I mean, you solve them all the time, right? Kind of like this. You know what you know. What are you going to do about it? So once you understand that, and you know how these cases are nothing new to us, that's why we became targets ourselves, probably. Oh yeah, when you're aware, just being aware of those things, you're a liability to them. And then of course, we've been compromised to a lot of them since the year 2000 when we were put on the programs when we were 18. Yeah, because we don't deal their drugs and stuff. Oh yeah, I remember that pissed them off back. I remember when I was like 15 or 16. It was really difficult trying to understand that too. You know, how the people around me were supporting, you know, the heroin and stuff being trafficked in from the Middle East. People were complaining about it. Yeah, people were overdosing. It was very confusing to me. I didn't like this stuff at all. I've never used a needle. But I remember trying to snort it. Because they all did, you know, I wanted to be cool. It's a family business. I made a lot of money off it. I know, and like you see people, you know, walking around with like $10,000 in their pocket. Yeah, going to work, you know, for a fast food place wasn't too tempting, but that's what I did. Actually, I worked at Peasley's Quick Stop first, out in Jefferson, about a mile up the road, and then I went to Burger King here in the big city of Augusta. Yeah, I was like 16, yeah. Oh, I didn't like that stuff, but I had an alcohol problem, unfortunately. I crashed my cars. Oh yeah, I had OUIs and stuff by the time I was 18. Another reason I was put on the program. Programs. Yeah, back in those days too, early developments. Another thing David Wilcock was involved with of the microchipping, get GPS tracking. Yeah, even for not just animals. I mean, you think they were working on that with animals and stuff. Some people chip their kids. Yeah, and it's an option too for some people in some places if they want to get chipped instead of wearing an anklet. Some get chipped and don't know it. Yeah. Not just through legal means. Yeah, but you have criminal organizations and stuff that have abused those things over the years. Right, well, I mean, they have the tracking devices to track their packages and too, right? Right, I mean, sometimes the drugs are going into a person or an animal, right? Remember when they used to stuff the kids' bellies and the dogs' bellies with drugs? Right, they'll chip those people too. Sometimes they just put a chip in the package that they put in the person. No, it's encapsulated. Capsule in a capsule. In a capsule. Vessel. But yeah, anyways, yeah, back in those days when I was put on the programs and stuff. Some of them you might be familiar with, ARC in Bath. Yeah, that'll stem you out to a handful of them. Those would probably be the ones you'd be more familiar with. Yeah, I was on and off with that one when I had first started, and we were, with a fundraising company and stuff. Yeah, firefighters, police, special needs children. Yeah, that's when we learned about the snuff market that was connected to the drug trafficking lines and stuff. Yeah, pretty bad, huh? Pretty bad. So is anything I said a lie or unfactual? Not one thing. Not one damn thing. In fact, everything I have said is 110% factual and can easily be proven. Yeah, the ignorance is what gets us. The ignorance to it, and then the promotion of the dangerous things. It actually tears our hearts out and makes us very sick. So yeah, I mean, just because we say things like, it doesn't bother us, to say people's names or bring up certain things to help bring clarity and understanding to these things. And if there's anything you think we should be beaten up or locked up for, please do so. Like, if anything we say or do about events of the past that will help to expose these sick fucks and help our children is something that would get us killed or put us in jail for the rest of our lives, we're okay with that. That doesn't make us dangerous or suicidal or depressed. We're actually the total opposite. We love life. We think it's incredible. There's so many things every day that blow our minds. Like just being able to communicate in these ways and do lives and a lot of the groups and stuff we used to do. Being able to do that pretty much any time we want from wherever we want in our homes. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, granted, there are some restrictions. Right, so someone's saying, I can't do it whenever I want because I have to go to work. But the capabilities there is what I'm saying, right? You get your cell phone in your pocket, you're making calls. Right, I mean, you might not be able to watch the show you want, or... Right, I see what you're saying. You might get in trouble for that. Written up. You cannot be playing Clash while on the clock. Save that for your break. Good. We're going to go make a coffee. We just had one. We're going to have a second coffee. Yes, we've had water and coffee so far this morning. Yeah, this time of year we go to bed sometimes earlier because we like to wake up at 10, 11, midnight. Yeah, it's nice and cool through the night. It is. The air right now is really nice. It's a nice breeze coming in. It's very cool. I'm almost thinking of putting on a sweatshirt. I have long sleeves on, but I might do a sweatshirt. It's getting chilly. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you think? Anybody? And you hear all these big figures and names, they're talking about it. Experts, doctors that are really concerned. And then just the fact that they're not even talking about those concerns they're talking about, right? Like, I'm not, like, just to even say something, anything, right? I'm not a doctor myself, but these experts seem really concerned about the vaccines we're pumping into everybody here. Sounds like something we should be concerned about. They all ignored it. And so many were in compliance. Like freaking zombies. People lining up like cows to get the shot. It's like, this is The Stand. Stephen King's The Stand. It was worse. It was worse. I mean, in Stephen King's The Stand, you only saw a couple guys with signs and bells like it's the end of times. This was way worse. What are you talking about? People were being killed. Drive, baby, drive! Getting fucking shot. Fucking crazy. And you're looking around at other people, they're like, we can't say vaccine on YouTube. What the fuck are you talking about? They're fucking the kids. Oh my god. Oh my god, dear Lord. May the fucking Lord, God, Buddha, whatever the fuck you believe in, may there be mercy on your motherfucking souls. Holy shit. Tell the rest of y'all. I mean, so many. I'm not gonna pick and choose. To me, you're all beautiful angels. I don't look at anybody. Yeah, because you never know. Someone might have to be playing a role. And so many, like we just said, have to go along with it so they don't lose their jobs. We tell you about the stories like Dr. Coinas and others who in recent years have fucking killed themselves because they felt so goddamn guilty about injecting these babies with vaccines because they knew how fucking dangerous they were. Nobody would listen. And they see their own patients and other doctors getting fucking killed and targeted, and their children being fucked and tortured by these punks helping the fucking hags that fear the non-vaxxers. Are you fucking kidding me? Right, so what are you talking about, dude? For real. People. A fucking joke. Oh my god, you can't even really try to wrap your head around it. Can't even wrap my intestines around it, and I hear your intestines are pretty long, eh? Hey, hey. Yeah, so Dr. Coinas, sorry, just had to breathe for a moment. Isn't it a beautiful morning? See how the birds aren't chirping much yet? It's 1:20. The birds are sleeping. Usually about 2:30 they start to chirp. Yeah, some. You'll hear a little bit, but I mean when you start to hear it amp up, morning birds. About 2:30, 3 o'clock. So yeah, Dr. Coinas, he felt so guilty. He was shooting them up with water, saline, yeah. He wasn't even shooting them up with the vaccine. And then people found out about that, and he was going to get in trouble, maybe, I don't know. Look into it. And then he supposedly killed himself. Do you know how many stories we hear like this? It's so sad. really good doctors and private investigators. And when you see it, when you see what the fucking people are doing, and when you try to call them out, right, I mean, I'm telling you what happens in a lot of these cases. People get killed, they target their children. And when it's to the point where your children get killed, fucked, tortured, killed, yeah, that silences people. It's like, why bother speaking out, especially when people aren't believing it and they're going along with thinking it's a conspiracy theory. You've lost your mind talking about that stuff. Right, and then when other people within the systems aren't speaking out for those people, their colleagues. No, they're not at all. You don't hear them talk about any of this in our mainstream news outlets. They ignore it. They are in compliance with the maiming and raping of people's careers and licenses, and the targeting of innocent people, and the over-medicating and vaccinating. It doesn't make sense how so many have remained silent within those sectors. Are you that sick? Are you that scared you're going to get kicked out of the cool club and not get your homeowner's security? Huh? Will they stop protecting you? Take you off the cool list? I mean, what is your security anyways? Where do they hire these people from? Do they have criminal records? Usually. Yeah, a lot of them too. Ex-military killers. It's okay though. I mean, it's okay. It's legal. They have a license. They have a license to kill. It's okay. Natural born killers. Yeah, so anyways, I really hope the proper authorities and news stations and people that are responsible for protecting children, that would be people who work for places like Child Protective Services, DHHS, could name a few more, just for starters. And then when you see what's going on there, why keep going? We need to address that. That's fucked up, dude. You thought the colleges were bad and they're dragging frickin' teachers off. Think of what's happening in the state departments and what they're doing to mentally ill people and the children. You're watching it, or are you not? I know, oh, warning. Graphic scenery. Yeah, wouldn't want to fucking ruin your day. Yeah, sadly too, it doesn't seem to faze some. As though it's just so normalized to them. You know, and you hear, like, serves them right. Well, you know, they're so, right, like it's not their problem, as though because they were born into poverty, they deserve to be raped and tortured by grown adults, fucked up on their prescription drugs. They don't like to fucking look at it. And a lot of them take the shit. A lot of them take a lot of that nasty shit, or they promote the Botox and the stem cells. They're making money off of all this sick fucking crap. Talk about dark market, huh? Sick. It's fucking sick. Like the vaccines aren't bad enough. Do you not know the fucking pathogens that are in the Botox? I know, it's to the point where it's like the wrinkles, right? They've proven that if you don't keep getting those injections, yeah, your wrinkles are going to get really, really bad. Really bad, like way worse. You should have never started getting that stuff. And now they promote it more to the younger girls for migraines. Oh no, frown lines. Disturbing. It's fucking disturbing. What the hell is the matter with you people? We really want to know. Everybody always looks around like someone else is supposed to take the mic on that one. I'll call the cops. I'm gonna do something about it. Yeah, they're fucking sick. You people are fucking sick and you need help. Anything else? Yeah, no, anyone listening, we're desperately trying to get news people and those responsible for protecting children. You gotta get the proper education, you know? And then that basic human functioning stuff. It is. It's beyond words. How sickening.
Stop, police! Stop running! Stop running! Police! Stop! Stop! Somebody's crossed the creek.